Hello, everyone, humans of the world.
Welcome to This with Adrienne and Melissa.
How's it going, everyone?
They're amazing, of course.
I mean, why wouldn't they be?
They're listening to us.
Of course. Time is great right now, right?
Yes. So thank you for tuning in, having a little bit of time for yourself and with your loved ones.
Yes.
To join in on the conversation today. Yay.
Welcome.
So how was your weekend?
My weekend was so good.
Well,
I had a young, wild, and free weekend.
Yes.
That's what I'm calling it.
I like that.
Do you like it?
I like that theme.
Yeah, I didn't plan it to be that way, but I had some friends in town, and it's just always nice to like see familiar faces that I know, and like we were going out and partying and just drinking and just being wild, and I'm such a prude usually, and like so responsible and like always home watching Netflix, so it was just nice to just be out and be wild and
Carefree.
Yeah, carefree, go on the Venice Beach and like booty shake whenever I wanted to. Like just be me. It was just so good. So
I love that.
Yeah.
That's always
so
good to
much
like
fun.
share with people that you love and know.
Yeah, I know. It was just so comfortable, and like I think I needed that. I didn't know I needed it until I needed it.
That's
and I was
right.
just like, okay, Melissa, you need to just, have some fun.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy. You
it.
deserve it. Why not?
Always.
How about you?
It was good. It was good. I had a moment where I didn't know what I needed. Until I got it. My lovely mother was in town this weekend.
Yay, mommy.
So I got some mommy time, which is it's absolutely so important.
It is.
I'm fortunate enough to have a really good relationship with my mom, and we're really close. So, but she lives in another state. So this weekend was all about just loving on her and her loving on me, and we got to celebrate one of my favorite people in the entire world, her birthday. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of dancing, a lot of just hugs and good energy, and celebrating her solar return, which was just always surrounded by love and family and friends. So it was an amazing weekend.
Yeah, I think we
I feel
have like
recharged.
the same vibes. Yeah, we both have the same vibe. I definitely do need a nap after all of that, but it was so much fun. I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah, me too. My spirit feels fulfilled.
Yes.
So
Nice and clear and clean.
yes, which we needed after kind of our last conversation.
Craziness that we went through.
Yeah, yeah, that was big. But I guess we can get into that as far as our challenge, right?
Right.
So last week we had a challenge
Mm-hmm.
that was to look in the mirror
Mm-hmm.
and kind of take some stock into who we are and
Right.
find out like what makes us feel good and get back into that.
Yeah. So when I had my time in the mirror, I realized that I'm moving really, really fast. I'm doing a lot, and it's all great things, but I'm doing a lot. So I think I needed to just have my time in my mirror to just realize, like, Melissa, it's okay to slow down and take some time to just find peace and be quiet and just be. So I just try to do that at least 1 hour I only got to do it on Saturday and Sunday, but I took that 1 hour when I woke up, and I'm like, I'm gonna just lay here for 1 hour. I'm not gonna turn on the TV. I'm gonna rush out of bed to get in the shower to rush to do something. Like, I'm gonna just lay here, and I needed that. It was so good.
Look at you
I try
creating
not
a
to
new
fall
habit.
asleep. Yeah. Hopefully I can do it more often and not just like Saturdays and Sundays, because usually weekdays we're just rushing up to like go to work and stuff and move, but it was just nice to have that. So
Good.
Mhm.
Yeah, after last week, I struggled a lot. Actually, after our conversation, I struggled a lot. My mentality was just like nonstop thinking of all the things that I think we go through in society, and that even though I was trying to stay off of the media, of course, things would trickle in, continuing of Charlottesville and whatnot. And so just going about my business, it was struggled. I struggled. I thought about things before I went to bed, and when I woke up, it was like the first thing. So I ended up, for once, taking my own advice. And like, hey.
Yes, to your own advice.
and just trying to figure out, okay, I know that there's bad things going on, but how about you look at the positive things? So I think the next day I was like, okay, I'm just going to count how many people smile at me first. And I was like, okay, let me see how this goes. And let me tell you, it turned all the way up when I went to the grocery store.
I mean, I didn't expect people not to smile as you, and you're walking around probably looking gorgeous and amazing. So of course people are gonna smile your way. That's easy.
Well, here's the thing though, but I don't typically I'll smile at people first, just in my character. But because I was conscious of it, and it was because of our conversation, I was like, okay, well, am I looking for people to kind of glare at me or look at me sideways, or am I, you know what I mean? I just wanted to be kind of aware. And so I was aware of that, but I was also, let me not forget that there's also so much good coming my way, right? So I want to pay attention to that instead of something else.
Something else.
Right?
Or triggering something else.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it led to conversations in the grocery store, which were just chatty, small talk, like,
Nice.
you know, it was just something to notice, and that kind of helped me get past this little
moment.
blip. Yeah. And also at the same time, it's something that's been done before, but again, it was just heavy on my heart. I really wanted to, you had sparked something in me when you said, like, our minorities, like, we're not together. We're not coming together. And so, I just threw up on my Facebook page and was like, listen, if you, like, help me help you. And if you are a minority business owner, please post your website, your Facebook link in here, or comment on this post. And so I put together a spreadsheet and just want to shout out some people really quick.
Oh, we like shout outs.
And ultimately, this is one of the things that I feel pretty strongly about, not to focus so much on the separation, the segregation, the racism that goes on in our country, but really focus on what you can do, which is you spend your money in the within the minority community.
Supporting your community,
Absolutely.
supporting your people.
Focus on the positive and the things that you can do. And so with that being said, my post really was open to all minorities, not only ethnicity, but female-owned companies as well. So I'm going to shout this out really quick. In the nonprofit community action groups, we have Project Fly, Breathe Love, Bucket Fam, Second Chances, Let's Give, SEQ Hope Foundation, Financials, Reliant Tax and Business Services. We also have entertainment services, Winterstone Pictures, Carter's Touch, Get Ballooned. In real estate, we've got Great Loans and Investments, MacHomeLoans.com, Construction, John Calvin Bird III. In retail, we've got Nobody Jones, Souls Up Clothing. Souls is spelled SOLES. Family Planning, Global Creations of Love, Egg Donor, and Surrogates. And that's what we have, people. So if any of those, we'll be posting information so that you can access.
Yeah, Google.com and Google it and support.
Exactly, and support
us.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that, so yay.
So should we give our shout outs
yes
of our listeners and all the people that engaged in social media
that are amazing?
Yes. We got Mend_History24.
Yes.
West 9000, which are our two favorites. On YouTube we have Twin Flame Buddha. Hi honey, I love you. Self-Esteem Queen. SoundCloud we have Brisk Walk Lady.
Yes, thank you.
So
And thank you
everyone.
to the new followers that we've had this week
as
well.
Lots of new followers.
So we appreciate you. We appreciate your support.
Everything.
And we want to hear from you too. So if there's something that you is big on your heart and on your mind that you want to, talk about or be part of the conversation, please let us know.
Or even just hear our opinions and you want to hear us talk. We like to do that. You can just send us some ideas of, any subjects that you think are really important to, listen about and hear perspective about. That's awesome too. We'll take it.
We'll take it all.
We'll take it all.
And with that. So we are introducing today's topic, which is natural order of change and evolution.
Boom.
Big deal.
So let's start off with our definitions from Webster, of course, as we do every week. The two words we're going to focus on is evolution and change, which are big. Evolution is the gradual development of something, especially from a simple to a more complex form. Change, make or become different, make or become a different substance entirely, or transform. So, Webster. So this is a heavy subject, and I think this was kind of coming up in different formats for me, in conversations and thoughts, and I was just kind of thinking about the habits that we create, or the habits that are created around us or about us or in our environment that it's kind of hard for us to break away from. And I started thinking about myself, of course, and doing some self-reflection about all the times that I've been pushed to make changes because I was restricting them, or the times that I've created my own chaos because I was trying to restrict the natural order of how my life should evolve.
Trying to take us to church today, huh?
Right. So, self-reflection is probably the most important thing, right? Because you need to know what you're doing, what kind of habits you have, what kind of things you're restricting. If you're noticing that, you're having the same thoughts over and over again, or the same dreams over and over again, but yet the actions and the way you're living are not really matching what these dreams are and what these thoughts are, then it's like, okay, well, what is life trying to tell me here? What is the universe trying to tell me? What is God trying to tell me? You're starting to just, I know for me, I search what these things mean. I don't believe in coincidence. To me, it's like, I'm thinking about this for a reason. That thought came into my mind for a reason. I met this person for a reason. I'm in this place for everything is a sign to me. So I try to be heavily connected to what's around me, and then what I'm creating out of that. And then one of the things that came up is like, gosh, we create most of our chaos ourselves. Mm-hmm. Like, most of my pain and my heartache and like my worst times is because I was restricting or restraining from something. And then that kind of made me like feel some type of way. I'm like, Melissa, really? Like, all this time you've been complaining about all these things, but you've been creating this nonsense this whole entire time.
And stemming most likely from a belief,
a thought, my upbringing, just something I'm used to, my comfort zone, a lot of like stuff that I'm comfortable in. It's like, oh, well, these things I know, these habits I know, this is clear to me. So why should I change it? Why should I evolve with this life, right? What are those questions? Why should I evolve with this life?
Why wouldn't you?
So that was my question. I had to answer that myself. Melissa, why would you think that you cannot evolve with this life and change when everything around you is evolving, right? Mm-hmm. We have new generations of new kids that are like on these social media and on this digital wave way before I even knew what digital waves were when I was their age, right? And I'm thinking, okay, well, the trees, a seed is planted and a tree grows. The seed doesn't stay a seed. Right? The caterpillar doesn't remain a caterpillar.
Right.
So it's like, wait a second. So why is that everything around me is changing, but I feel like it has to happen either in my control or with some type of comfort, right? Like, in order for the caterpillars to spread their wings, I'm sure like they had to kind of like crack things and elbow their way through it. You know what I mean?
Or think about being born. I mean, we don't remember it, but you're in this comfy, cozy womb, and you've got your sound, your white noise, and all of a sudden, you're being pushed out of this small canal, and then taking your first gulp. I mean, talk about transition.
Oxygen.
Right. But that's how we come into the world with a little bit of chaos.
Exactly. So I'm like, we need to talk about this, right? Because this is a natural order. I'm sure I'm not the only one sitting here, kind of thinking, or like maybe there's more things that I should be changing or should be transitioning with, or that I'm restraining, and kind of just being open to those changes when they come. They're not easy and they're going to be hard. They're going to be uncomfortable, but maybe I need to just walk my way through it, even when my mind is like, oh my God, run the other way. Like I can just say, shut up, brain. We're walking.
That's a really good point, though. I mean, I recently done some I think searching myself, and learning to kind of navigate through life by what feels good, not so much what I thought was the right thing to do, or definitely a person that was like, oh, here's a situation. What's the pros? What's the cons? Oh, the pros, deciding this situation would be more pros than this one. Okay, great. That's what we're going to do. That was definitely my go-to in navigating through the world.
Making decisions, right?
Right. But I don't think we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to navigate by feeling. So if it feels good, it just might be uncomfortable just due to the conditioning and the beliefs that we have in our own head that we're navigating by. But so talking about that, just changing that habit.
Right. And understanding like the difference between your mind and your heart and your feeling, right? Because, when we're scared, when we have a thought that scares us, usually it comes as a thought, it scares us, and then our body feels it. Right? So it's like, okay, well, if the thought comes in, what I've been practicing is like closing my eyes. So whenever I'm like getting scared about something or I'm looking at something that makes me uncomfortable, I like close my eyes. I was like, Melissa, what are you feeling? Not what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
What are you feeling? Like if I connect with my feeling first rather than my thought first, then I could reverse the sucker. Like I'm going to start with the feeling, and then the body's going to tell my mind what's about to happen rather than my mind tell my body. Because I don't know if I trust my body too much either, but I definitely trust my heart more than I trust my mind, right? So let's go with the heart and the body and then the mind. Reverse it. And I tried it the past week with one specific crazy situation I was in, and it worked. It worked. I went with the feeling, and the more I did it, the more comfortable I felt. And those thoughts started to fleet away a little bit quicker. Mm-hmm. Not that they went away completely, but they just started fleeting away a little bit quicker. They wouldn't last as long as they did because I wasn't harping on it. I was allowing myself to be in that moment and just feel good.
Yeah. That's a good example. I have a friend who's actually going through a transition, mm-hmm. and their child has just gone off to college, and so they just spent a week, getting her prepared and all set up in her dorm room and making sure she's got everything, and really just being involved and making sure that the daughter is all set up, and it's one of those moments, so many transitions in life, mm-hmm. But that I think about this person, and they come home, and now the house is empty.
The room is empty, and I get that. Like, I'm not a parent, but I've heard many parents talk about this moment.
Yeah. And it's, and it doesn't feel good. Like, the natural order of change in our life doesn't always feel good.
No, I think most times it doesn't. I think most times it does not.
It doesn't.
It's never fun. No one's like, yes, I have to transform my whole everything that I've been doing. Like, no one wants to really do that,
right?
On purpose,
right? It's So how do we help people kind of get through those things? So
one thing is what I tried this week was feel before thinking, allowing my heart to kind of lead rather than my mind. Mm-hmm. I also in the past have basically allowed myself to understand that where I was worse than where I was going. So the idea of the unknown was like, okay, well, what I do know is this, but I'm not so happy with this. So I'd rather take the leap in what I don't know and have that be better than this, so that I'd rather take that risk because I don't know if I want to stay with this forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was just like, if this feels like this, then I'd rather go with plan, let me go with door B, because I don't know what's behind door B, but I already know what door A is, and it's quite not that great, and I feel like I deserve better, and I'm a good person. So I'm gonna open this B door, and hopefully B is better than A.
So what if you're not a risk taker?
I don't think I'm naturally born a risk taker. I think that I converted myself into a risk taker. I think that I've decided at one point, I made a decision that I was going to allow my curiosity to not just stay my curiosity. I was making a decision to commit to my thoughts, commit to my heart, commit to these things, but I don't think I'm yay, risk. I don't think I'm ever really excited about it. I think I psych myself into it. And most of the reasons why I do it is either I stay with this or I try that. And this is not that fun, so I want to know what's on that. So I'm I'd rather I deserve better, and so why not try B? And if B is really that bad, I could always come back to A. I guess I always think plan A is always a fallback. Yeah. It's the fallback plan. So let me go with B, see what's there. If I really hate B, I could just go back to A. I already know it, right? I get already comfortable, I already know it. And what's coming to mind a lot is when I decided to move from New York to California. I know I talked about this story already, but just the leap of well, I already know New York. My family's here. I know every inch of the city. If I go to California and I really hate it, I could always come back. I know this place. I'm sure I can get my job back. I'm probably miss my apartment, but besides my apartment, it was really no big loss. You know what I mean? So that was what pushed me to psych myself out. And I really, in my mind, actually, now that I think about it, I think part of me almost wished that I hated it. Because part of me thought, well, if I leave New York, because I wasn't so happy there and I didn't like it much, that maybe if I left it, then I would like realize that I missed it and want to come back. But the complete opposite happened. And now I'm like, I cannot go back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But part of me was hoping, right? Because it's part of the fear. It's like I'm trying something new, but like hopefully it doesn't work out that way. I don't have to commit to it. Right? Maybe that was my fear kind of talking to me. Like, oh, well, yeah, you could always go back. Maybe just go, hurry up and go, hate it, and then run back. And then now you can say you did it. And when like life was like, nope, you're staying actually, and I don't care how hard this gets, you're not going back, and you're going to push through it, and you're going to, and then when I was in it, I just kept, it was like one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. And then now 5 years later, I'm like, wait, New York, what? I mean, I love you guys in New York. You guys are amazing, but no, I'm not living there.
I love visiting.
Yeah, it's a beautiful visit. Very beautiful visit. But just like, gosh, like, what if I would have never done that? And I would have never met you, and this wouldn't even be happening right now. Like, it's just all these conspiring things that it's like once you're into this groove of making decisions and like committing to them despite your fears, and you start to see the progress and the great things that come out of it. Now you're like in this, oh wait, maybe it's not that bad. Yeah. Maybe like the first big change is like the hardest one, you know, and then after that it gets easier.
I think it depends. I think it depends on what people are looking for, like how they view it.
Right.
You know, there's sometimes, like I said, there's change that happens that is not your choice.
Right.
So
I remember those too.
Yeah, in those moments, and or even it is your choice, but it's still a really hard decision to make.
Yeah, they're always hard.
Yeah, so there's these transitions and these natural changes or changes that just need to be made, and it's those things like where, oh my gosh, okay, so I'm here and I'm scared because I don't know the unknown. At whatever point in time in your life you are, like sometimes it's not exciting. Sometimes it's really just freaking scary. Yes. You don't know, maybe you don't know where, you know, that next check is going to come. Maybe you don't know if you're going to hear from a loved one again. You just don't know. There's just a fear, you know, a fear in your mind. And it's one of those things is like, okay, if you can start just slowly to see maybe the positives in your day, just take one day at a time and maybe see, you know, that there's opportunities to smile and to be happy and to start really small. That's going to get you to the next day, and it's going to get you to the next day.
And making small decisions, maybe.
Absolutely.
Now, it doesn't have to be like the big change, but maybe small changes that lead to that big change.
But yeah, and noticing the positives, you'll see more of them, but they'll get you through that day. I was thinking when we started talking about the topic, just natural changes and how in certain situations it's just tough.
And it's not natural. Right? It's like natural order, but it's not as natural. It's not as natural, meaning because it could be natural if we just let go.
Right.
Right? But because we're like humans and we always want like control, we always want to like grab on something. Well, it becomes very, we want a stability, we're secure, we don't want to fall, we failure and all this stuff.
We don't want to unless it's our choice.
Right. Control.
Yeah, and even then. But it's exciting. We can see, I think, the evolution kind of as a whole. With technology, of course, there's a lot more connection. There's a lot more, so there's a lot more information that's shared. I feel like if you just look for it with the right intent. Right. So if you're going to look, you know, for information based out of fear, you're going to find it. You want to look for, you know, information that, you know, is going to scare you or give you worry. You're going to find it.
You're going to find what you're looking for.
Yeah. So you just have to make sure, you just have to have a moment and make sure your intention is right, whatever it is that you need, and know that it's coming. You're going to be, like, we're going to be fine. I think we've all gone through things, but we're still here. We're okay. Right? You guys are listening. Like, you and I are talking.
Right.
We're okay.
And not only that, but I have this sense of responsibility that our earth, our society depends on our evolution.
Absolutely.
Like,
because if we're not
evolving,
you're dying.
Right. Our creativity, it helps with the advancements of this world, of this earth. Yep. So it's like, if you decide not to do something, guess what? Everyone suffers. It's not just you. I think I'm starting to look at life in such a larger landscape.
Yeah.
As of lately, more than ever, where it's like, okay, I meet you. You're supposed to teach me something, but if you missed or skipped the lesson that you were supposed to teach me because of whatever fear or some restrictions, then I'm now missing out on information that I was supposed to get from you. You know what I mean?
But maybe
that makes sense.
Well, it depends on what you're destined to get, because
right, like, but that's what I mean. Like, if your true gift and your true potential was to do X, Y, and Z, right? And in the process of that journey, you decided that there was one thing that you wanted to stay stagnant at, and you didn't want to pursue it.
Right.
Now, either, I don't know if God makes like different changes, or the universe like diverts me and detours me and not to meet you anymore, or if I meet you anyway, but you can't provide that for me because you're still going through that process.
Do you believe that?
I don't know. Like, I'm actually just literally working it out as I'm talking to you, because I don't believe in coincidences.
Okay.
So I really believe that everybody comes to this world and to your life for reasons. And it's to give you and share some type of gift. And whatever that gift is, like, I really believe that we all have a purpose on this earth. And the purpose is to bring some type of contribution to the evolution of the planet, of the world, of the people in your life. You're supposed to influence something, whether it's to think about creating the next new big product, the next big idea,
or to be an example.
To be an example to young kids, to be an example to your family. Who knows? But I think everyone comes with a duty and some type of purpose. And within that purpose, you're given a gift that's going to help you facilitate that. I worry, this is literally my biggest fear, is if I miss something, or if I decide not to do something out of my own fear or anything, that I'm going to now mess up the connection, like the natural order. I'm going to mess up the natural order because I'm deciding that I'm not going to use this gift. I'm deciding that I'm too scared, and I want to stay here. I want to stay in New York. I want to stay in the apartment that I was in. I wanted to stay in the job that I was in. I wanted to stay. So because I wanted to stay, now podcast is not happening. Now Melissa and Adrian never meet. Now, you know what I mean? Like, the natural order of things.
Well, no, the natural order of things would just be a detour. It would just be.
It would have happened in a different way, maybe.
Because whatever is meant for you to
is going to happen regardless.
It's going to happen.
Life is going to force you to do it.
As long as you're here and you're breathing, it's going to happen. It doesn't necessarily need to be that specific person or that specific place or thing or whatever. You have your gift, of course, but you'll definitely be learning whatever purpose you have. You keep saying something that reminds me of the book Celestial Prophecy.
Never heard of it, no.
It's a book, and I wish I could remember who it's by, but I can't. I think the last name is Redfield, I think. But it was the first book that I read that started talking about things are not coincidences. So when you meet somebody at Starbucks and, they strike up a conversation with you, it's not by coincidence.
Right, yeah.
There's something that you are, either supposed to learn or recognize or acknowledge within that.
Or even that exchange, that moment. Yep. I do believe that, but I struggle with the point that you get detoured, because I know people who don't move.
And what's their quality of life?
But it's not about the quality of life. I wonder, not so much, I mean, the quality of life is important. Yes, I do care about that. But I'm thinking, like, your gift right now is dormant because you're dormant. And how many people are now, like, let's say, random scenario that I always say out loud is, what about if Edison never thought about electricity?
Somebody else would have came up with the idea.
Like, so do you think that God removes the idea from one person and gives it to another if that person is dormant?
Yes. Like, so here's the thing.
So it's like, it's going to happen regardless whether you're going to do it or not. If you can't do it, then I'll just give the job to somebody else.
If it's the betterment for the masses, it's going to happen.
It has to happen.
And if you have a gift to do it, great. But if you don't see it through, or if you're not recognizing it, or you have some stuff to go through, that's fine. It's still going to happen. It's just going to be somebody else. I feel very strongly about that. I don't even question it. Like, if it wasn't Edison, guess what? Then it would have been Jefferson. Else. I don't know. But we'd still have electricity. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I struggle with that. I'm not struggle, but
you're curious about it.
Yeah, I wonder about it a lot, because I'm just like, but then what happens to the people that are dormant and are using their gift? Like, do they, like, what happens to them if their gift gets removed and gets sent to someone else? Then what do they just sit here and, like, coast through life?
Or our gifts don't. I don't think our gifts ever get removed. For
like the idea, meaning, like, let's say Edison, like the idea that Edison would have that had, and let's say he didn't have it, or maybe Edison got somebody else's idea that they didn't do. Does that person now get like a different role or like another assignment? I don't know. Like, I'm thinking about like life assignments and like
this one right here.
Melissa's the alien.
But think about how many thoughts go inside your mind in a day.
Oh my God, a million. And like weird ones like this.
Think about how many ideas that you have that you could start, that you could spin off of in a day. Just think about that. When you put it in perspective of yourself, like nobody else is really different, whether they choose to recognize it or not. They have a million ideas. It's either they go after the ones that feel good or go after the ones that don't feel good or whatever. But they choose their own path. Like it's all. I'm so. You are so curious about everybody else, but I'm like at the end.
I'm so curious because I feel like we all connect.
We do,
and I feel like we have a responsibility for each other. Like, I don't see me doing what I'm doing for me. Like, I don't live my purpose just for Melissa. Like, I live my purpose because I mean, we're all in some type of service oriented process in this world, is to give, right, in some way, somehow. And so I feel very responsible to seek out and follow through my ideas and my thoughts and the things that make me scared, because I feel like if I don't, people lose out of it. It's not just me.
You're motivated by
the world. Not by the fear of it, but the responsibility. Like, I feel like God gave me a gift and a responsibility, and I'm here to seek that out, because it's not just Melissa who gets to be dormant and nothing happens. Like, no, the world and the society and the evolution, all of that is affected if Melissa does not follow this through. Like, that's how I feel.
Okay. I don't even have anything to say to that. Like, I just don't. I'm like, that's just too much control.
It's a lot. It's a lot of thinking.
Like, it is. And at the end of the day,
but I don't say it as controlling. I think it's dedication. Like, I feel dedicated to my path. I feel dedicated to my journey. Like, I feel dedicated to the things that I'm going to be exposed to, the ideas that I have, my
That's
walk, who I speak to, who I don't speak to. I like to be mindful, and when I do meet someone, I always think like, oh, like, what is this person going to bring to my life? What am I going to give to them? Like, those are my initial thoughts when I meet people now. And I don't see that as control. I kind of just see it as like, I'm more mindful of what I'm bringing to the table, how I'm presenting myself, what I'm giving to people, what I'm giving to this world. Literally, it's what I'm leaving. My footprints on this earth matter to me.
That's good. It's your legacy.
Yeah. And not just my legacy. Like, I don't even see it as like, oh, I just want like cool points and like boasting. No, like, I really just feel like if I don't, everyone loses. It's not just Melissa losing. Everyone that is meant to come in between my path will lose if I don't.
But they won't. Let me be clear. They won't. Because what they have, whatever is meant for them, if you don't come through,
somebody else will.
Yeah. So, because what you're saying.
But nobody's going to be as dope as me, though.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, my God.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, my gift is, like, something special. So, like, if I don't, like, share my gift, like, they're losing. Yeah, they're losing.
Okay, well, they'll get it somewhere else.
Not like me.
I'm just saying. Of course they won't. But I'm just saying that's a lot of responsibility. Like, you're taking on the entire world for no reason. That's a lot. So if somebody's like going to come back and they're just not going to agree, or maybe they're like, something bad, that's heavy. You see what I'm saying? Like,
no, but I don't see it as like a heavy, like, I don't see it as burden driven. I see it more as like, godly.
Well then. Well, then keep going with your purpose.
Right. Like, I feel it actually empowers me. It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel purpose driven. It just makes me feel like useful. It makes me feel I think that's beyond human.
Well, I think we all need a purpose.
Yeah.
I think that enhances our quality of life. It enhances our human experience. A lot. And I think without it, sometimes you can spiral out. And people's purposes are all different.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a matter of like you taking on that responsibility and like with such fervor, like, and passion.
Good word.
Is one thing, I think. But other people,
yeah, I'm just saying that's my thing, right? Yeah, I'm not saying it's my thing. I'm not saying, yeah.
And I don't know if they're figuring. People are figuring it out, and people are going gusto once they do figure it out. And
I'm still figuring things out. I'm not saying I got it all together and know exactly what I'm meant to do. I know that it's big. Yeah. I know that it's a responsibility. I know that I'm taking steps towards that. I'm not so much focused on the end goal.
Yeah,
it's just like, what am I doing right now? What am I doing daily? Like, what am I doing with the people in my life? What am I doing for myself? What am I doing around me? Because I feel like it's one foot in front of the other, right? Like, you could only focus on the now. Like, if I do too much futuristic thinking, I'll get like lost, because I've tried it and it doesn't work. I go a little bit insane.
Start to worry.
Yeah, and I just go a little bit insane and like a little crazy. So I'm just like, okay, Melissa.
No, you?
No, me? I don't have a little bit of crazy. I know it's hard to believe, but yes, it happens sometimes. So, I try to just focus on one foot in front of the other and one step at a time. But I just feel like this earth is meant for us to contribute to the evolution of it, and we can only do that if we are effective with our habits and our changes and the things that we do on a daily. And I feel like restraining all of that is kind of like a hindrance in some ways for this planet and for your own life and for your family and for I think it affects everyone when you restrain change overall. And maybe I'm like looking at it very wide. Yeah. So I know it might like be too big and very overwhelming for people. So, pardon my wide vision, but it's I feel like it's that important. It's that big. Like, we're that godly, we're that great, we're that creative, we're that smart. Our brains are that powerful. Like, we are that powerful. Like, I could see everyone's power, and maybe that's where a lot of my heartache comes with, and a lot of my struggle with people come with, because I feel like I don't see people. I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud. Sometimes I don't see people for who they are. I see them by their potential.
It's a common.
And so I struggle with that, because it's like, now I'm like looking to expect you to move based on your potential, and like a lot of people don't do that. So it's like, you just want to shake. I just want to shake people all the time. Like, I just want to shake you into like your greatness. Like, I need you to know that you're great, like now, actually. And I don't know how to do that because you're not getting it. And it's like, and it's, I think I struggle with that. And I'm starting to try to get better and just understand we're all human. I mean, I'm not perfect either. I'm a mess sometimes too. And sometimes I need somebody to shake me. And I'm glad when people do, actually. I want you to shake me. Come bring some shaking into my life, so I can never lose sight of who I am and what I bring to the table and who I'm supposed to become. But at the same time, it's like, it's okay to be human, and I need to be okay with human, and I have problems with humans.
No, well, people, you're going to be highly disappointed, I think, when you have, and it happens when you have high expectations of yourself, you have high expectations of others. And if you haven't figured out how to just accept their choices and who they are and the path that they are and the moment that they are, and then you're the one who gets disappointed.
I know.
And then that creates another type of chaos, especially depending on the way that you react to them. So if you're reacting to people like, what the hell is wrong with you? I can't you see your greatness? You're damn royalty, and you're making these stupid decisions. If you're like getting frustrated with them because they just haven't been able to look in the mirror and see what you see, then you're creating chaos within friendships and relationships and yada yada yada, and the cycle continues. So then you're talking about, and then you're kind of talking about, I don't know, restricting their own natural evolution, because they have their own beliefs and upbringings and environments, and conditioning that
is part of their story and part of their evolution. So, but the mistakes is not really what bothers me. I think
it's not even mistakes; it's just their choices. Or
their choices. You have
higher expectations. Yeah. You have higher expectations of them. It's not their fault that they're not meeting them.
Right.
And
because it's my crap. Right. It's my crap. Yeah. Definitely.
Sometimes, but it's hard to love people and allow them to be on their journey, and it's also hard to love people from afar.
That one was key. That's the one. So that's the one I'm practicing.
That right there.
That right there. That's
right
what I'm
there.
practicing.
Yeah.
Because it's like I could only do but so much. I also can only accept but so much. So it's okay if you don't see yourself great and you're still going through your stumbles. And like the first 3 stumbles, I was like, cool, I hug you through it. Now we're like, okay, now, all right, now, okay, I got somewhere to be, some things to do. I'm not going to continue going in circles here. So I love you, bro, but I got to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and I'm starting, and I've always struggled with letting go of the people in my life, and just because also I think it comes from my sense of responsibility for the earth and people in my life and all of this stuff, that I kind of always feel like, oh no, but they're nice, or oh no, like I have to be here, they're in my life for a reason, so like let me stick it out. But then I'm causing myself a lot of disservice doing that. So I've gotten better at letting go, and I've been letting a lot of things go and a lot of people go, and it feels damn good, actually.
It's kind of like that saying, like, don't focus on the people that didn't come to the party. Focus at the people that were there. That were there, you know?
And the new ones that are coming that are so great in alignment to what I need also, so that it could be reciprocated. Because I get so stuck in like what I'm giving that I forget sometimes that I need to receive as well. And it needs to be an exchange.
Absolutely.
So, you know, anyway, this became like a therapy session on Melissa's and that's not what it should be. But I mean, I'm glad that we did it. We learned, and we've grown.
Yeah. You're working out some thoughts as you speak.
Yes. And so I wrote like some notes down. So when I thought about like the word change, and I thought about transition, I thought like the natural order of like the things that already happen in our world in transition. For example, life to death is a transition.
Actually, it's really funny that you say that, because I had a conversation over the weekend that it just left an imprint on me, and it was about death, and it was about how we view death, and a lot of us, it's a fear that we're going to lose a loved one. It's one of the biggest fears,
right? But it's like the one thing that's guaranteed in life, and where no one is prepared to handle.
Right.
So
like, we know it's going to happen,
right?
But for whatever reason, we just think about that not happening, or we're just scared because we don't want to be without our loved ones. We don't want to have this human experience without them. So we had this conversation about changing the way that we see death, and understanding that it's coming, but understanding that it's just you're just changing your relationship with that loved one. Like, they're not gone. They're really not.
They're going into transition to just another realm.
Right. Like, it's just your relationship changes with them. It's just not in the current physical. It's just a non-physical. So you still, if you choose, it depends on what you believe. And because we don't know what happens in the afterlife, we don't know that whole phase, quite honestly, it's whatever we want to believe. It truly is. So if we want to sit here and be fearful, be like, oh, well, what they did in this life is going to make it so that they go to heaven or hell or wherever you think, then you're going to be fearful of that. If you believe that, you know what, I'm still going to feel them, they're still going to be in my world, like I'm still going to have memories, or I'm still going to have a relationship with them, guess what? Then that's your world. Is it
your creation of in a mindset of what it's going to be.
Of what it means. So we have the power to change that idea and make it so that death, number one, isn't so scary. We're not so afraid of it. We could probably better prepare for it, while you're here and you're left behind. And it's not such a, I guess maybe a entirely world overhaul. It's not such a bad thing. And also prepare ourselves, because we ourselves, we don't know, but if we think of ourselves as a spiritual person or being or just soul, then we're going back home to wherever we came from. And we came.
That's beautiful.
Wherever we were.
But we're so attached to this, and I don't know why.
Well, it's because it's all we can remember.
Yeah, it's like this is all we know.
We don't remember anything before, and we don't know anything after, so it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense, but I just had it was a really nice warm flush as I was having this conversation and just kind of talking it out, that it really is up to us on an individual level of what we want and what we choose to believe about life and death.
That's so freaking true. You know, I had a conversation about funerals with coworkers the other day, and we kind of brought up the same thing. Like, you know, we need to just really think about like what, you know, they're like, oh, you know, have you ever thought about how you would want your funeral? I'm like, I think it's so stupid. You're not here, okay? Right. Why are you planning your funeral? I think that funerals and how that happens is left for the people who are left to decide how they want to mourn you. And what they want to do, or celebrate you. Whatever they want to do to make themselves get through this process of not having you should be what they do. Like, I hate when people are like, well, when I die, you have to like do this and have a mariachi band and have like, you have to cremate me. And my mom was like, you're going to cremate me. You're not going to bury me, or you're not going to have a wake. And it's like, wait a second here. Like, how about you won't be here for it? One. Sorry, you're not going to be here. So guess what I'm going to do? If I am still here when that happens, I'm going to decide how that happens.
So here's part of the, and here's a little, it kind of actually our conversations go hand in hand, because if we're not preparing, but we know we're going to die, right?
Right. I mean, we should be preparing. Everyone knows that they're going to die. It's like a clear thing. I mean, this became very morbid, by the way.
Right.
But anyway.
Right. But then we could have conversations with our loved ones that is more not uplifting, I guess, or more positive, like, you know, not like, hey, not like a long list of things what you will and won't do, but more like, oh my gosh, like, you know, if it was me celebrating life, like, this is what I want. I would want like a mariachi band, or you know, I want somebody to I want my two best friends to choreograph a dance like to this song in my honor, or whatever. Like,
but would you honor that?
Fun.
Like, would you honor that?
If a good friend of mine was like, Adrian, like, for my when I pass or whatever, I want you to choreograph a song to, I don't know, pour some sugar on me.
You would do it?
Of course why wouldn't
See,
I?
I'm just like, F whatever you want.
And it would make me happy to do so. Like, it would make me happy. It would
be like your last thing you do for them?
No, because I'm still having a relationship with them. Like, it would just be different, but it would make me happy. Like, I would probably be sad that they're gone, but like, yeah, she wanted me to do this. And so I'm going to have fun. I'm going to find the fun in that. Because the journey is, you are suffering a loss. So let's acknowledge that. But if we can have the conversation and make it, fun. You know what I just,
and I get the fun part. I just don't really like dig like dead people telling me what they want when they're dead.
Well, they're not.
Well, they're not dead yet.
They're alive.
But they would be dead people. Like, at that point when you decide to do this, they'll be dead. So it's like, oh, I'm following a dead person's instructions. Like, no.
But it's like their last person's, like, it's their last wish. So I think that's what people
But I am left here, and I should be doing whatever makes me feel comfortable in this process. Like, is it really
and it wouldn't make you feel, like, it wouldn't make you feel comfortable to, like, just boogie on down or...
I mean, whatever makes me feel comfortable. But let's say, like, the person says something opposite. Like, oh, actually, you know what, Adrian, for my funeral... You need to wear all black. You can't even talk. I want quietness. I need you to cry. I need you to be so sad and depressed for the next like 5 years of your life after I'm gone. Would you follow that?
Well, no. But here's the
thing. So
that's
what I'm saying. So if it's like something positive, you'll follow it. But if it's not, so it's like, why am I following your directions, period?
No, but this is the thing. Is like, if we change the way we look at death, then we can have a much more positive conversation about it while we're still living with our loved ones.
Also, like, you can make like a good, like, you can say something good that you would want, so that you can focus on doing good things, like a good tradition.
Yeah.
Okay, that I could get with. That I could get with.
Because I totally hear what you're saying, but I'm like, that's if we change our idea of what death means to us, and knowing, I think most people are upset or get really upset because they're left behind, right? But if we change that idea that we're not left behind, our relationship just changes with them, then our conversation can be different when we think of our own selves dying. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes a lot more sense. Before I was like, you're just gonna take all types of directions from these dead people.
You ain't gonna tell me what to do.
You're dead, and I'm gonna be left here. You're gonna tell me that I need to what? No, not happening. No, but you're right. It's a mentality change, and that could be part of our evolution.
Yes,
that could be the world's. Maybe that's what.
Maybe it's
one of the things that you're gonna be bringing So this
table.
world is the changing, because I mean a lot of us have like death attached, like religion and
Yeah.
belief, and like there's a structure, and
And
you know
there's
you
certain
have to do
traditions,
this
yep.
and traditions, and you have to all do this thing, and like you know once we kind of break down the whole religion thing that separates us, and we start breaking a lot of things that separate us, I think that that would be one great thing to do. It's like once we demolish the whole religion thing, I think that it will be like a good clean slate to like start with this type of thinking,
Yeah.
right? Because it won't be fear-based. It would be honest. It'll be positive. And it would probably like remove the fear that all humans have, which is to go through death from their loved ones and to die themselves. You
Yeah.
know, it's like this.
They don't want to be left behind.
Yeah, they just don't want to, and it's like, and it's scary, and I don't know why we have this scare, because it's like the one thing we know. We know we're born, and then we know that we're gonna die. That's like the one thing you know from like the jump.
Right.
But yet, it's like, oh my God, I can't handle it, and it's
No,
like
we don't want to talk about it. We don't,
it's
I
like
mean,
this
it's
incognito
yep.
thing that
Yeah.
it's like a plague over you for,
Yeah.
for your whole life.
Yeah, which is it's not an enjoyable conversation,
Never.
but
is.
it if we know that it's something that's inevitable, I mean,
It's just
we
changing
should-
the mentality,
yeah.
like you said.
so we don't have to be scared of it.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. The next thing I was gonna say was like baby to adolescent to adult to elder. So just like the natural evolution of like
Life.
right? Like you were a baby, and then you learn things, and then you become an adolescent, and then you learn things, and so it's like the natural order of it's like this is happening all around us, right? The cycle of life, of how we grow, like the tree, when you plant the seed and the tree grows, the caterpillar coming out of the cocoon and
As a
then
butterfly.
become a butterfly and becoming all these things. It's like, so you know, like the way we can't deal with death, why is it that we can't deal with change? Why is it so hard for people to deal with change? Well, because it's scary, just like
Yeah.
death is, and it is unknown and is risky and it's uncomfortable, and but it's showing us that this is how it goes.
Yeah.
This is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I wish people were a little bit easier and gentler with themselves, because like you think about having this conversation. I mean, we all go through trials and tribulations, whatnot, and it sucks and it's scary, especially when you don't know how to get to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But if you, I mean, think about it. You think about a baby that's trying to walk
Mm-hmm. I'm watching it right now
Right?
with my
With your-
9-month-old niece.
with your niece, right?
Yeah, it's so
Now-
amazing.
And
to
it's
watch.
amazing. Now, you don't look at her and be like, "Come on, baby, walk." Like, you're not like, "Okay, I see you crawling. Why aren't you standing? Why aren't you walking? Why aren't you running? Why aren't you jumping over hurdles? Like, you're 9 months old. You should be doing this right now." Like, you're not pressuring this baby, right? Well, I mean,
sort of.
are you telling
Well-
her to jump over hurdles?
Well, my cousin is being a little hard on her a little bit.
I mean, but realistically, we're not telling her
But
to
she's,
run
like,
marathons
pushing-
or anything,
no,
right?
No.
So we don't do that to our babies. We're like, "Oh my God, did you see the first step?" And it's a congratulatory party, right?
Right.
I mean,
for
we are-
every like big change.
everything, right? And then, oh my gosh, like now
They said their
can't-
first word. And
right, and they don't have to hold on to furniture
first-
anymore, right? And now they're kind of jogging or whatever. Their first tooth comes in, all that.
Yeah.
But we're not yelling at them like, "You should know how to run by now."
Right.
It's the same thing with us, just a different way of it, just life.
Right.
It's like, you're going through whatever transition. If it's, yes, you're maybe your baby is gone off to college, or your babies are growing up, so you as parents, you're feeling some type of way. Like, you're like, "Oh, I don't like this. This isn't comfortable." Or, maybe you applied for a new job that's out of state, and now you got it. Like, now you've got what you want. But holy crap, like, now this means that you have to
It's
move.
real.
This means that you're going to say goodbye to friends. This means that you're going to say goodbye to
There's
coworkers.
a lot of things.
There's a lot of
yeah.
things. It shakes up your stability. There's a whole bunch of different, examples. But I feel like we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves. Like, it's okay to be scared. It's okay to acknowledge those feelings.
That's right.
But also, it's also okay to know that just
Walk
because you
through
don't
it.
know, just because it's the unknown, believe that you are going to come out better, because like whoever you
Everything is
believe
working out,
in
yeah.
your higher power, the universe, whatever, is not going to lead you to anything bad. You have to believe you have to believe that
You have to believe in something, even if it is just yourself. Like, believe that you are going to be great, that you're smart enough, that you learned enough by now to know better and to make good decisions and to figure it out when you get to the other side of the unknown. Like, just even believe in yourself. I think a lot of people don't believe in themselves long enough to know that they are smart enough, that they do know enough information, and we doubt ourselves a lot. Like, we all do it.
Well, it changes our vibration when we doubt ourselves. So it changes what we're able to grasp and what we're able to experience and the opportunities that are placed in front of us. So stop that doubting.
Yes.
I mean, it's easier said than done.
Right, because we do this all day. I mean, I know I do. But it's just, when you're doubting yourself, just at least let that last thought be a good one.
There you go. Ooh, I like that, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let the crazy thoughts flow. Okay, the last one I'm going to do. Okay, that one, actually want to stop at that one. I want that one to be my last thought about this. And let it be a good one.
Yeah. I'll be checking all those bad thoughts.
Me too.
As soon as they come in, I'm like, kick rocks.
I know them now. Like, I know which ones are like, oh, you're just lying, trying to throw me off, aren't you? You are trying to throw me off today. It's not going to work.
Not today.
I'm sure, like, in my mind, I look like a crazy person in my house sometimes. I'm like, that was a lie. That was a lie.
I think we should all have cameras in our cars.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. I mean, I do Snapchat while I'm like singing in the car sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's usually just me singing on the top of my lungs. I'm usually not doing too much thinking in the car. But I'm always thinking.
Well, yeah, who isn't?
Gosh, the brain. Jeez. So, guys, we're creating a lot of this chaos. We're creating difficulties. Change is hard. Evolution needs to happen, though. It needs to happen for our future, for our next generations, for our society to grow and to evolve, and so that we can be better than we were yesterday. That's all we're all trying to do, right? Just have a better day, have a better life, have a better year, have a better month, whatever it is. So let's redefine this truth. Evolution does not indicate that you have to go from simple to complex. I'm not sure why Webster said that. That was silly. Rather, the act of evolving is an extension of an already great you. It's an act of a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. And change does not specifically mean you become different, right? Not sure why he thought that. Rather, you transcend. The core of you is everlasting and unchangeable, and you become who you are meant to be. And I saw this amazing meme as I was writing this. So I reached out to the person who posted it, and I asked him if I could share it with everyone today and on our site. And he said yes, and he agreed. So thank you, evolution _of_AC. The post said, I am not even who I am yet.
That's right.
So it's this idea, right? Like, we are supposed to be becoming something, but yet you're really just getting closer to who you are rather than becoming someone else.
Correct.
So it's like delayering rather than like transforming into like one of these robots or something. I don't know. I just started thinking about the Transformers movie. My brain.
I like it because it acknowledges the journey.
Right. And it's such a simple statement. And it's like, I am not even who I am yet.
Right.
So, forget what, I don't know why Webster said changing means you become someone different, because you don't become different. You become who you are meant to be in this world. And the evolution is not from simple to complex. It doesn't become complicated. Nothing is complicated. It's actually, you become more at peace. You become more happy. You become closer to who you are and stronger and, I don't know, more great, more royalty, more godly. You are God. You're derived from God. I mean, I don't know if people, Allah. You're from Allah. You're from Buddha. They're all the same to me. I worship all of them because they're all the same to me.
I think it's easy to say that you're just more in tune with your higher self.
Yes, definitely. Right. So I understand that. It's like, you're there. You're part of that. You're part of something way bigger than you. So tap into that. Like, in those moments of spirit, tap into it. Like, you're royalty. You're great. You're a king. You're a queen.
That's right.
All right. So
like
just walk like you're
said,
made
all
out.
right.
All right. All right. Act like you're like not like act like you're gold. Act like you're diamonds because you are.
Because you are.
You are.
Well, then what is our week's challenge then?
So let's be challenged. So is there something you have been fighting against the wind of the universe to not do? Something you have been pushing away, but you know deep down inside that it has expired and you just know it's time to let it go. You need to change it and release it, but you're scared. Face that thing this week. Write it down. Talk about it with someone. Release it outside of you, outside of your thought, outside of your heart. And at that point, life will assist you in the process of change. So let's spread our wings and fly this week. Just one little thing, even if it's to just write it down, even if it is getting it out of your mind, right? Because I know for me, my biggest fear, it comes in often and it creeps in as a thought and I'm like, oh, do you want to think about that? That's scary. Let me ignore it. And it wasn't until I started like writing it down and I put it in my vision board. And even as I was putting it in my vision board, I was like, oh, I was trying to like reason with God, like, actually, can we like not do this one? Like, can we just like leave this one out? And he's like, put it on the wall now, Melissa. He's been yelling at me lately because I'm just being a little hard-headed. So I just put it on the wall. You know what I mean? And it scared me. And now every time I look at it, I still get that urge to pee. Like, you know when you're so scared that you feel like you need to pee? Every time I look at it, I feel like I need to pee. But now it's on my wall, so I have to look at it. And so I can't run from it anymore. So, you know, like, and then life now starts to conspire to like help you get to it in ways where you don't have to like go from like here to there.
So you're not, so in this week's challenge, you're not talking about letting go. Like, you're talking about letting go, but in this moment, you're talking about kind of replacing it with something that you want?
Well, more like letting go, releasing it, meaning in writing, just releasing it out of your thought or out of your heart rather than like actually creating or deciding to make that change, right? Because I think that that's a separate process.
I think, yeah, and I think,
you know what I mean? Like, that's heavy to like say I'm just change it today. Like, that's not gonna happen in a day, but or in a week rather. But in this week, just more like become aware that it's there, and become aware that it's a fear, and then like write it down, release it, tell somebody, like say it out loud, maybe.
I'd like to go maybe a step further for those of you that kind of know that you've been holding on to something that maybe is fearful.
Okay.
Is to create. I like rituals. I like to do things like in a certain.
Yeah, you're a doer. I like it.
Yeah, like action. So, if you have something that you need, that you've been needing to let go of, I would agree with Melissa. Write it down, take some time, sit with it, write it down, and maybe light a candle. Give whatever that fear a little bit of thank you, a little bit of acknowledgement, because fear is always supposed to. It's meant to keep you safe, right? So. But for whatever reason, this fear is not serving you anymore. You know this. You know what it is.
You know. Stop it.
So go ahead and write it down, light the candle, give it thanks. And if you write it down, maybe you burn it in that candle as you let it go. Ooh, and you can visualize it. Yeah, and you can visualize it just leaving with the smoke that's in the air. And if you believe to do so, then you can place an opposite of what you do want in place of that fear. If you're there, maybe
if you're there,
or maybe just
if the writing it down doesn't help, but burning it or whatever, create your own little ritual. You don't have to. We're just giving you examples.
Just an idea that might help, but hopefully it gets you closer to the things that you do want and letting go of some baggage for sure.
Yes, and share it with us if you don't mind. Please comment, share it with us. Tell us what your rituals were, or what you did, or what you wrote down of. Anything, just inform us. We would like to know. We're nosy.
But and with that, you can find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, and Instagram at Thistru.
Thistru. Later.
Bye, everybody.